JD Vance may have thought he was out on the road doing damage control for Donald Trump, but instead he ended up doing the opposite, putting Trump's failures under a spotlight so bright even MAGA couldn't ignore it. Over the past week, Vance crisscrossed the country claiming he was there to defend Trump's record. What he actually did was remind people just how chaotic and broken things have become. He tried to sell Trump's economic agenda while quietly admitting it isn't working. He defended the use of ICE and Border Patrol tactics that have terrified communities in places like Minneapolis and St. Paul. Then he topped it off by leaning hard into abortion absolutism at a March for Life rally, exactly the kind of messaging that has already cost Republicans elections. That move alone set off alarms inside Trump's own orbit. Even Laura Loomer, usually a ride-or-die Trump loyalist, openly questioned why Republicans were once again hammering abortion in a midterm year. She warned they'd already learned this lesson the hard way and accused the party of setting itself up for another wipeout. Vance shot back by saying Trump himself encouraged him to attend the event, only making the internal chaos more obvious. MAGA world promptly turned on him anyway. But the real damage came earlier in the week, when Vance tried to explain the economy. Speaking in Ohio, he compared it to the Titanic, saying, "You can't turn it around overnight." Think about that for a second.
This is something I want you to hear. The Democrats talk a lot about the affordability crisis in the United States of America. And yes, there is an affordability crisis, one created by Joe Biden's policies. You don't turn the Titanic around overnight. It takes time to fix what was broken. I said earlier that
the Vice President of the United States, just likened the economy to a famously doomed ship. That's the pitch? That's the confidence heading into midterms? He repeated the same message days later, acknowledging that supporters were frustrated things weren't moving fast enough.
Now, I must address an elephant in the room, and I've heard the guy over here talking about it. A fear that some of you have that not enough progress has been made, that not enough has happened in the political arena, that we're not going fast enough, that our politics have failed to answer the clarion call to life that this march represents and that all of us, I believe, hold in our hearts. And I want you to know that I hear you and that I understand. There will inevitably be debates within this movement. We love each other. But we're going to have open conversations about how best to use our political system to advance life, how prudential we must be in the cause of advancing human life. I think these are good, honest, and natural debates. And frankly, they're not just good for all of you. They help keep people like me honest. And that's an important thing.
In other words, yes, things are bad, and no, don't expect them to get better anytime soon. Not exactly a ringing endorsement of Trump's leadership. Then came Minnesota, where Vance suggested that local officials should simply help federal agents by pointing out where alleged criminals live. The response from the public was brutal, and immediate people pointed out that if Vance was serious about finding criminals, he might want to start a little closer to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Specific types of cooperation that we need. Look, I don't need Tim Walz or Jacob Frey or anybody else to come out and say that they agree with JD Vance or Donald Trump on immigration. I just don't need that. What I do need them to do is empower their local officials to help our federal officials out in a way where this can be a little bit less chaotic and it can be a little bit more targeted. Like if we're trying to find a sex offender, tell us where the guy lives.
All of this revived another uncomfortable truth. JD Vance didn't always worship Trump. In fact, before reinventing himself as a MAGA loyalist, Vance openly trashed Trump, calling him a bad candidate and a bad person. Those old clips are now circulating again.
And so one of the takeaways is not just that the Republican Party base is somehow fundamentally flawed in a way that's unique in American political history. It's that Trump is a really bad candidate and, frankly, I think a really bad person.
And they land harder when paired with Vance's current excuses and walkbacks. The contrast gets even worse when you line it up against Trump's own promises. Trump repeatedly pledged that energy costs would be cut in half within a year, not reduced eventually. Not after we fix what's broken, cut in half fast. Yet now his allies are telling Americans to be patient, to give Trump more time, to accept smaller reductions someday. That's not leadership. That's backpedaling.
Under the Trump economic plan, We will cut your energy prices in half within, mark it down, and you can get very angry at me if we don't do it. Within 12 months, your energy prices will be cut in half. My plan will cut energy prices in half or more than that within 12 months of taking office. Number one, your energy bill within 12 months will be cut in half, and that's my pledge all over the country. Beyond farmers, that's my pledge all over the country. If you vote for me, I will cut your energy and electricity prices in half within 12 months. We're going to cut them down in half.
When one of Trump's most devoted defenders was asked about those broken promises, his response was an incoherent mess, blaming global instability, shifting goalposts, and insisting Trump is right all the time while admitting the pledge won't actually be met.
Donald Trump said that he would lower the cost of energy by 50% in his first 12 months. What was your message for Americans who are seeing their energy prices go up?
Well, energy, I mean, there's several things of energy. You got energy, you got gas and everything. Gas prices are down, other things are down, but we have a very unstable, the entire globe, there's a lot of instability, obviously with Venezuela, with oil, this and that. There's a lot of fluctuations with all that. So I think Donald Trump, just give him time, give that man time to continue to lead. And if Congress will follow that lead, you will see energy prices reduced by 50%. There's no question about it, because Donald Trump is right all the time.
Taken together, it paints a brutal picture. A president who overpromised, a vice president who accidentally admits failure, and a party fighting itself in public while voters feel the consequences. JD Vance didn't mean to throw Donald Trump under the bus, but that's exactly what happened.